The Gold Coast region of Queensland, Australia is a tourist and residential mecca for many, forming part of one of the largest islands in the world, with a distance from east to west of 4,000 kilometres and from north to south 3,800. 70% of its population of over 22 million people are situated on or near pristine coastline that stretches for a staggering 34,000 kilometres. Australia generally is a tolerant, multicultural society and often referred to as a lucky country, with an agreeable climate, diverse landscape and one of the strongest economies in the Western world. Its people enjoy free medical care, a social welfare system catering for the poor and the disadvantaged, and like its neighbour across the Tasman, New Zealand, another young country, it has been fortunate enough to have had no major wars and conflicts hit its shores. Its children have access to a free government education system that ensures a high literacy rate, and for most, the chance to pursue whatever goals they wish for in the future. And with such an agreeable standard of living and access to many charitable organisations within the country, no child should ever have the burden of going hungry in Australia, a burden often carried by those who live in less fortunate countries. In stark contrast to the vast distance of Australia, Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, with a population of over 7 million people and almost as many motorbikes, forms part of Vietnam, with a distance from north to south of 1,650 kilometres and from east to west 600, with a coastline of close to 3,200 kilometres. This densely populated country is home to 91 million people. When the North Vietnamese army entered the presidential palace in Saigon on April the 30th, 1975, it signalled an end to the American war in the country, leaving behind a tragic tally of lost lives. Thankfully, this resilient nation is moving forward from its troubled history, and for most Vietnamese today, it is about providing a financially stable future for themselves and their families. Tourism has been steadily rising in recent years, and foreigners who visit the country are drawn to its history, unique culture and exotic foods, but also the friendliness of its people. Vung Tau, which is 125 kilometres from Ho Chi Minh City, has a population of nearly 300,000 and is a seaside haven for many Vietnamese visiting from Saigon. And the area is also significant for tourists interested in battlefield sites, bases and memorials from the Vietnam War. Vung Tau also attracts many poor Vietnamese people who travel from the countryside, especially the Mekong Delta, in the hope of finding employment. Near any tourist quarter in the evenings, you will often see children trying to make ends meet selling lottery tickets, trinkets, chewing gum, and some will beg to raise a small amount of money for themselves and their families. In recent years, Vietnam has seen some of its population prosper due to economic growth, but compared to Western standards, it is still very poor, and many struggle to make ends meet on a daily basis. There is no free medical care or access to a free education system for children, and no social welfare system designed to help the many disadvantaged in the country. Unfortunately for the most vulnerable in Vietnam society, children, due to often tragic circumstances, some are unable to be cared for adequately by their families and have become abandoned as a result. Throughout history, there are stories of selfless acts by individuals helping disadvantaged children, whose driving force is nothing more than compassion and wanting to help others less fortunate. One such person I had the privilege to meet is a Vietnamese woman by the name of Thi Trang Dai, who in the past worked as a high school teacher and decided to change jobs to work for the Department of Social Services in Vung Tau. And while there, she saw the need to have a centre for homeless children, as no such facility existed in the area. And in April 1999, along with two friends, they began their journey to help the disadvantaged children in the area.
Hi, my name is Trang Dai. I was the teacher before I become the social worker of the Department Social. at the beginning, at that time we have the center for the old people. We have the center for the children, orphan children, but we have no the center to take care the children HIV positive, and we also have not the special center who can take care the homeless children. So that's why we ask the people committee give for us the permit. And at the beginning we rent the very small house, and I have one support from the one Vietnamese person. They give us 100 million Vietnam dong the first time, and by that money I rent the house and rent 2 teachers to working with us. We do everything by ourselves. We take care of the children, bring them, go to the doctor, cook the food, clear the house, everything, and step by step. After 12 years, now we have the 3 centers. If your heart is small thing, if you want to do something, help the people, you have to good heart and big heart. You cannot small character, small thinking, and more everything just think to you.
So you must have a big heart.
If you want to do this job, you have to good heart and think to another people, especially with the children. Này nữa. Con không mất đi. Không. Không em. Gì đây em? Họ sẽ đeo nó buộc tóc ra. So at the moment now, some province they have not yet to open the center like our center. They send the children here. We accept. I never refuse.
Yo.
Em tên gì? Vạn. Tôi tên gì? Tôi tên Hảo.
Say hello, xin chào.
Xin chào.
Xin chào. Say xin chào. Xin chào. Mút. Đi. Look, hello. Hello.
Rồi đi ra. Ngọc, nhanh. Đó.
In 2008, a woman by the name of Thi My Huong came to work for the Centre for Social Protection of Children and has become pivotal to the running of the organisation, and together with Thi Trang Dai have provided so much more than just a home for disadvantaged children in Vung Tau.
So when I was 5 I went to Australia, and then at the age of 7 I actually spent a year living in Tanzania with my adopted parents, and it was there that I saw a lot of poor families and children. And at that young age, I made a commitment to work with poor disadvantaged children. And in 1999, I worked in Zambia for my own NGO, working with street children, who a lot of them were addicted to drugs, living on the streets. And I worked with some local Zambians there. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience, and just very, very difficult. But you know, I worked with a particular group of street children, teenage group, and everybody told me you'll never transform their lives. But I tell you what, love can transform any child's life.
This little boy's name is Tan. He came to us at 3 months old, and at that time he was only 1.7 kilos. His mother had no breast milk and no money to buy milk for him, and all she was giving him was a little bit of condensed milk mixed with water. He came to us, he was blind, but now he actually has sight, although he does have some visual impairment. But if you look at him very closely, he can actually focus on you. Tan, ơi. Mummy This little girl's name's Jan. She's been with us since she was a baby as well, and she is completely deaf. Now we're told that she needs a cochlear implant, but it's $30,000 for a cochlear implant, so we're not able to raise that, and I've sent out a lot of letters to different implant companies requesting to donate one, but we haven't had any successes yet.
So I met Trang Dai as a result of adopting my first son in 2008, and at that time I just saw her heart for the children, and I always knew that, you know, my calling was obviously to work with disadvantaged children and particularly orphans. And so when I saw Trang Dai's heart, I thought, this is a woman I can really work with.
These twin boys, they came to this centre, oh, how long? Nearly 1 year ago, and both Trang Dai and I were here the day that their mother brought them. And the reason why
three children in the same family, but father died.
The 3 children in the same family.
The youngest?
The younger sister. So the father died of HIV 5 months prior to the boys coming. And I remember the day the mother came, she didn't want to give her twin boys up, but she had no choice, because she said her husband had died 5 months prior and she would have no money to look after them. She had no job, had no money to pay for rent, and no money to feed her boys. And so the twin boys came first, and then after that the younger sister, which is this little girl here.
And they have 5 children.
And there's 5 children in the family.
That Thi Huong, she do a lot of things for our tree center, and even from the organize for the children who are outside activity, a swimming pool, the sea, KFC, the cable car, or sometimes for singing, or even small thing to make the bati or anything. She do everything. Yeah. Really, she have a good heart, and I'm happy because I can looking for one person same the way with me to take care and to work with the children.
Okay, I'm presently at our second centre, Norween Centre. At this centre we have children who are basically 9 years and older, and a number of our children here are former street children and have been abandoned.
Đầu tiên con cho cô biết là con tên gì?
Dạ, Nguyễn Văn Tiến.
His name Nguyễn Văn Tiến. Con hiện tại đã sống ở trung tâm này được bao lâu rồi?
Dạ, 2 năm.
He stayed at the center for 2 years. Ở trung tâm này á, là con đến đây á, là do cái hoàn cảnh như thế nào mà con đến trung tâm?
Dạ, con từ trẻ mồ côi vô đây.
He come to the center because the children orphans and no parent. He just lived at the street before. Đến trung tâm á, thì bây giờ á, con có cảm thấy như thế nào? Con có được học hay là có được cái sự hỗ trợ nào từ trung tâm không?
Dạ, con học viết chữ, học vi tính một tuần.
He studied Vietnamese in the center by the staff here. They teach him, and one time a week he have computer class. Con cho cô biết là hiện đó con có vui không, hay là con có cảm thấy như thế nào khi mà sống ở trung tâm?
Dạ, con thấy vui.
Nói thêm đi con.
Dạ.
Con sẽ nói gì?
Dạ mấy má nuôi con cho con ăn.
Chăm sóc con ngoài đường chứ không có.
Chăm sóc con ngoài đường không có.
He's very happy to live at the center now. When before he stayed at the street, nobody cared for him. But now, from the center, the staff here, every people, they take care of him, they love him, and he feel like a family feeling when he stand here.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about the centre at Long High, because I also believe there's a project that is almost ready to get up and running. It involves kids affected by Agent Orange. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Long High Centre the work at Long High Centre started just over 4 years ago. It's a brand new centre. It's a project of the French Association, pour les Enfants de Rizeres, in conjunction with the VAVA Association, which is the Agent Orange Association in Vietnam. And 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, we opened a school in Long Hai for 110 disadvantaged children from within the local Long Hai community. And this year we had the opening for the residential facility. So it's our goal to take in children that are homeless, as well as specialising in caring for disabled children affected by Agent Orange. So this little girl is behind. Has the effects of Agent Orange. You can see her feet and her hands fused together. She needs numerous operations to make this better. But she's improved a lot. Before she couldn't walk. Now she can walk. She can hold a bottle, and she can even hold a spoon and feed herself. So now she's participating in the psychosocial program. In this program, our children work one-on-one with a staff member. And they improve their fine motor skills and also work on communication skills as well. Yeah, Long Hai Centre, we get zero funding from the Vietnamese government. So we need to pay for staffing for everybody. So we have the building there, but we don't have the finances to employ more staff.
At Long Hai Center, they see the new center and very special center because we have more than 100 children. Most of them very poor, and the parents no money to take care of them, no money to give for them the food, the service, education. So at the center, we give for them own thing they need, but they still to stay with their family. At the end of the day, they can come back their family, their grandmother, and tomorrow they come back with the center. And we are happy for that project because very good. We can give for them all the things, but they still keep the good relationship with the family, with the village. So I want to take care of that center like the special way and keep the children, and they understand that the education is the first thing they need in their future. And at Long Hai Center, we are very difficult more than to this center, because we have to take care by ourselves, and the government don't give us the money. We have to take care and everything. So that's why we would like to support more from everybody, from the company or anything to help us to become that dream.
Yeah, so obviously the funding for the organisation is always of constant concern. So
Sure.
How important is charitable donations in the day-to-day running of the whole place?
Oh, extremely important. You know, I am here obviously with the children, but it's always thanks to the generosity of so many that make the work possible.
Yeah, because I believe in 2008 you were introduced to a lovely couple, Ron and Elsa Vernon, who were able to help you fulfil a dream of opening up a kindergarten in one of the centres. So can you tell us about your involvement with Ron and Elsa and the kindergarten project, which has been up and running for some time, I believe?
Ron and Elsa, they've become very special. I mean, they're a very special couple, but they are also very special to myself as well. I regard them as parents and love them very dearly. And, you know, I've worked in charity a long time, and it's always people that have the heart for the children that get out there and raise some money, and that's what really counts. And at that time there was no kindergarten, and they went back to Australia just with some friends and raised money for the equipment for the kindergarten. And you know, since then they've supported our work, and really they're honorary grandparents at our centre.
So, Elsie, you and Ron have both been volunteers for some time now. So, how have you found the experience involving yourself with the disadvantaged children here?
I believe that it's done a lot more for us than it has for the children. I think we've inherited some of the passion from My Huong and Thi Trang Dai. We go back to Australia, and the first thing we want to do is to raise some more money so that we can come back here and do some more work with the children. Physically we can't do a lot, but we're more grandma and granddad to the kids, and I see such sad stories, but it's at the end of the day these children are loved and cared for, as well as many other children that have families.
So could you tell us a little bit about a few of the kids you've met over the years?
Oh, standout is we knew she was the first that we really became very attached to. She is a little HIV girl who just draws you to her immediately. But it's been a real pleasure to see her grow from a little toddler into a very rounded little girl, 6-year-old girl. She was called the Princess, and that was what we called our project, is the Princess Project. There's so many, you know, there's a little bin and...
You become attached to so many. We're attached to all of them, but...
Whatever is donated or received goes directly to the centres, but also every dollar makes a difference in some way to the lives of these kids and makes life a little bit easier for My Huong and the team, and for her nurses and all the staff there. You know, they all love their children so much that, you know, they appreciate everything that comes into the centre. So
you both become pretty much a part of this organisation, really, haven't you?
You could say
adopted, I guess.
Also, there's a couple of other people that obviously jump on board and help out as well. There's a guy in Vung Tau, I believe, a local businessman by the name of Glenn Nolan, who's been helpful to the organisation. Yeah,
Glenn's very good in bringing people across my way, and from there, obviously, it's word of mouth. And the more people that come to you, the more people that know about the needs at the centre.
Oh, fantastic organisation. They do an absolutely brilliant job. And you'd go in there and see the children. They're healthy, well fed, they're clean. It's not so much donating food and all that sort of stuff. It's more financial, where they can buy their own, and they actually outsource it. And they do also, over Tet and other holidays, they actually give out rice to underprivileged families and things like that. So absolutely magnificent job, and how they do it, I don't know. I'm just amazed. The Vietnam Swans, which is another organisation, the local football team, they're involved now every Anzac Day, help raising money for the orphanage as well.
You go down to the orphanage and you have a look at it, and you see the way that the children are being looked after, and you know, the people who will give you the real insight, you know, like I only occasionally get involved, but people like Ron and Ailsa Vernon, you know, you got Chris and Jackie Doulis, who are Swans who go down there as well, and you know, they're living down here in Saigon, and you know, it's a big part of their lives. And the thing that I always find striking about the feedback that I get from them is that they talk about the love that is on display around there at the orphanage.
Some Australian cricketers came to town, and with the help of Glenn and a few locals, they held a charity match. And what was raised from that particular event? Yeah, the man organising the match, Ray Richardson, I'd only met him one time. I took him to visit our centre, and he just listened to me and saw, you know, my heart for the children, and he asked me, well, what do we need? And I said, well, we need a car for Lom Hai Centre. And he didn't promise me anything. He just said, we'll see what we can do for you. And at a presentation after the cricket match that was held in Vung Tau, I was handed a set of car keys. I was just so overwhelmed, and you know, tremendous people.
I need to say thank you to everybody, because without everybody I cannot do everything. I know that I just only the bridge to bring the love from everybody for the children, and everybody effort to change the children's life to better. And by this film, I would like to say thank you to everybody to support, to give the love for our job and for our children.
Yeah, so it must give you tremendous satisfaction to be able to provide stability, education, and importantly, guidance towards the future for the children under your care.
Oh, absolutely. I regard myself a mother to all our children, and a number of our children will never have the opportunity to be adopted. So this is the only family they know. So if we don't provide for these children, nobody will. So, we have to bring as much happiness to their lives that we can. And, I also have two children adopted from our centre. So one is now 9 and one is 2. And, whatever I want for my own children, I also want for our orphanage children.
So you must be very happy about helping the children.
Yes, I'm very happy because that in my heart, I think that I just only one life. And when I do one thing, the first, that's it for myself, because I'm happy to do that. I want to do that. And I just think that if everybody, even you are, who are you, where are you, or what your job is not important. One thing very important, that's it, you can do something you want, and you do because your heart asks you do. And if everybody do that, the life is better, especially for the children, our future.
So for the future, would you like to be able to look after more children and perhaps have more centres in the future?
Yes, that I am just like one big mother. I have many children, my children. I see them like my children because from the beginning I make the center, open the center, and develop them until now. I looking for my children to see they have the family and they can have the job, they can take care, they can live by themselves. This is my happiness. And of course, in the future, like one family, when you are poor, you just think that you enough the money or the food for them to live. But when you develop, you dream something more, like you want to take care of your children, some activity more, some life skill, and give for them more high quality their life. And of course, I want to have more the children and want more the activity. A lot of children need our help.
I wanna sing while the ocean sleeps. I wanna feel what it's like to be free. I wanna see what you see in me. I wanna know how it feels to believe. 'Cause I feel lost, somehow I'm drifting away. Was almost gone, you brought me to life again. So let me be your lighthouse, and I'll help you find a way out of here. I see the tide is coming. Don't let it take you away from me. There's no way I'm jumping over. I know it's your love that saved me. Let me be your lighthouse, and I'll help you find a way out of here.